We're at the end of the second week of January. We're into the middle of January already, and I decided to record this video to talk about experience I've had of my own week since Monday. And the reason for doing that is because coming into last weekend, it was getting the first week of January over us after being off for the Christmas period. Coming back after January can be a nice fresh start at the beginning of a new year, but for us at Cloud 360 Accounting, we have a busy schedule ahead during the month. We don't have an awful lot of tax return cases to finalise, thankfully, but we have a number of other client assignments and services that we have agreed to deliver during the course of this month. And not only that, we're coming back in a lockdown situation, so the team are working remotely from home, which is workable, but it does present challenges from time to time. But what I noticed going into last weekend was I felt a bit deflated. I felt a little bit, not exhausted, but feeling like I hadn't had a productive week. And I really just wanted to record this video as well to say that if you feel like that at any point in time, rather than worry about it or feel overly guilty about it, ask yourself a question: why do you feel like that? What is it that's causing you to feel like you haven't been as productive or efficient or effective as you feel you needed to be? Are you asking too much of yourself? Are you expecting too much, maybe setting the bar a little bit too high? Or is there something in terms of the way your week has unfolded outside of your control or within your control that has left you feeling the way you feel? So when I asked myself those questions last weekend, I was very honest about it. And I had to realise a couple of things. Number one, in lockdown and with homeschooling and with things the way they are, there's many things I think we have to accept. The way we're working at the moment has to change again, as it did during the sort of first lockdown between March and June time last year. And the rate that we're going to work at is going to change. We either accept that or we do something about it. So if you have to feel you have to work into the evening or you get up earlier in the morning because you feel the volume of work that you have to get done warrants that, then accepting those facts or accepting that what you're asking of yourself is maybe a bit too much under the circumstances will allow you to actually, gel into a better way of working and not being so hard on yourself as well. So that was one thing that I realised. Secondly, I realised that some of the ways that I was working and some of the habits that I had and some bad habits that I had in the past were creeping in again. So I made a few changes. The changes that I made was I realised that I always work better in the morning because I'm always up from 6 a.m. I can, get about an hour or an hour and a bit done of bits and pieces, and I will then be in for breakfast, or if there were school runs, whenever I was taking kids to school, there would be that bit of a break, and the rest of the morning I always felt energised and productive. I did notice, and the more I thought about it, certainly after lunchtime my work rate goes down. It's just a natural thing. Some people work better into the evenings, and for me I'm always more productive up until lunchtime and maybe just slightly after that, but certainly things tail off toward the ends of the day. So what I decided to do was I realised that I was feeling that way because I knew I wasn't focusing on the right things. I allowed myself to be pulled in a couple of different directions, and I felt that it was necessary to do that to support the team and support some clients, but our business does need focus as well, and I realised that I need to focus and devote time in the morning when I'm most energetic to be able to develop the business. So I just started to change my habits and change my calendar around a little bit. We work off, in terms of sort of planning out our work, we work off Google Sheets, which are shared across the team, and we know it has to be done this month, and we sort of try to plan ahead for a couple of months, and based on what has to be done this month, the sheet's designed in such a way that our COO will go in and designate work for the team for this week. Each member of the team then, certainly this is what I do, is I'll devote which day of the week I'm going to do the weekly tasks that are allocated to myself. Coming to the back end of this week, I feel much better. I feel like I got a lot more done. I didn't get everything done that I thought I would get done and had planned to do. But again, I'm actually thinking now a lot more along the lines of acceptance and just realising, look, that's okay. We are where we are. And if I have to do something tomorrow morning for an hour early, even before the kids are up, because I'm always up early, that's okay as well. That's just the nature, I think, of the situation we're all in. It's also the nature of running your own business from time to time. And if you're striving towards that, I only want to work 1 day a week and so on, then certainly go for it, but give yourself loads of time to actually get to that position. I've been running Cloud 360 for 10 years, and to be fair, it's taken a lot of time to get it to where it is. There's no sugarcoating it. There's no way of sort of shortcutting these things. Running a business, no matter what you're doing, takes a lot of time, takes a lot of effort. But if you can accept that that's the way it is, it'll actually empower you more to drive things forward. So I hope, look, there's a couple of tips on there that might help people, especially through this month of January, especially during lockdown period as well. And if anybody wants to talk to me at all or reach out or needs any help with anything along those lines that I can do some coaching and mentoring with them, then please drop me a message. More than happy to have a chat. Have a good weekend. Chat to you all next week.